Namaste and welcome, beloved mighty companions. Our Jesus is really showing it can be very joyful to wake up and much happier than being asleep in the light of divine being, to just shine as the light that we are. All the holiness, just walk in holiness on 2 feet. And just being in the joy with each other. Yeah, I could see there are so many ideas that had to be serious, this whole thing. And it does take focus. And I've asked that Jesus say, no, it doesn't have to be serious at all. We don't have to live in an ongoing Greek tragedy. We can look together as the light of divine being is infinite being, and then just see that it's all impossible. It's impossible to be anything other than infinite light. To look so directly, to see that the world has no power, only the power that we would give it. Let's ask Jesus, in the light of divine being, does the world have only the power that I give it? And he says, not even that.
Yeah.
See that the world has no power over infinite light. Yet this is the play in consciousness. I go, okay, that's something in form has more power. So we abdicate our power to something in form and pretend like it's actually can do something. Yet we can look with the light of divine being and see untouched, see what's untouched. Yeah, it's been really beautiful, that reflection, how yesterday I was reminded about Jesus send us many miracles. He says you can have all the miracles that you're willing to ask for and receive. See that there's no limit on miracles. It's the play in consciousness to say no to miracles. What's most natural? Jesus, is there a desire for an experience to say no to miracles? And pretend like they're limited, or they're being withheld from me. Ask them, Jesus, is there any desire for an experience where it seems like miracles are being withheld? That they're limited? In the light of divine being, can miracles be limited in any way in our direct experience? Is it, in the light of divine being, a desired experience to say no to miracles? To want something other than a miracle? Because miracles are merely to show us there is no other. That infinite being doesn't know other. Let's just look. The best way to start your day is to start infinite. To see that infinite being doesn't look for reasons not to be infinite. Is infinite being, the light of divine being, kind of searching in there for a no to itself? Infinite being doesn't say no, it just is. So Jesus is teaching us what we're saying no and yes to, what we're really saying no and yes to. I thought I was saying no and yes to give me can I have a piece of pizza? Yes or no. I didn't see what was being the wish list, the wish to say no. See that God doesn't judge a piece of pizza, but the ego sets it up so that certain objects and form seem to have meaning. That can just define the Son of God as unholy. Lesson 325, how beautiful. All things I think I see reflect ideas. Jesus, will you help me today see this lesson in its fullness, its full glory within the mind? That itch to see ideas over God. Jesus, is there any desire below my level of awareness to see ideas more than God, than the light of infinite within myself? I'm willing to see it. He said, this is casting pearls before swine. Keeping those all ideas of concepts, persons apart from the whole. You can ask them, Jesus, are persons apart from the whole? Is that a concept? Is that an idea that I'm casting out to play in consciousness with, that they're others? So I can have false perception of others, false perception of the untrue. You show me my desire to have false perception of the untrue. All things I think I see reflect ideas. Jesus, in the light of divine being, do all things I think I see reflect ideas? Can you show me any not wanting to see this lesson and have it just fully resonate in my heart and fullness? Can you show me where it's somewhere, if there's any place within where I don't want to see that all things I think I see reflect ideas? Instead of God is in everything I see, where I would trade God is in everything I see for a passel of ideas and concepts. To trade infinite in for finite. This is just beautiful demonstration that it'll actually teach us, if we're open to what questions we need to hear the answers to from him in our hearts, so it blooms in direct experience. How much we don't actually want to see that everything we look at is an idea. Jesus, is everything I look at in the world, as I look around this room, an idea and a concept? And will investing in concepts make me feel that I'm separate? Holding on to ideas. He said, holding on to ideas about what you see is the way that you hold on to a personal identity. This is salvation's keynote. What I see reflects a process in my mind, which starts with my idea of what I want. So we can ask Jesus to show this deeply. Jesus, does what I see reflect a process in my mind? And does it start with what I want, what I wish for, what I desire? Does everything start with a desire, a want? You can hear that answer, yes. So he's really teaching us this, to have the direct experience of the process in the mind. So we can't hide from that process, the process of wanting our minds to look out at the world and see unholiness through desire to experience unholiness. Jesus, do I have a desire to look out on the world and see unholiness in myself? Okay, will you show me that desire so I can ask for a miracle? Are we ready for a miracle? Or do we look more? He says, look more. See how that wanting generates thought and feelings and emotion, the wanting, the very wanting. The wanting of objective experience of others and persons apart. He says, because you miscreate that in the play of consciousness, you can see it. You can see yourself casting out pearls before swine. Casting ideas out of death. Which starts with my idea of what I want. He said this could be a lesson that's very well learned. The wanting. So that you'll see it as it arises and not get lost in the wanting. You can ask him, Jesus, do I have a desire to get lost in wanting? Lost in my desires. And then object to my desire. See, it's a wanting. Watch how consciousness plays. He's teaching us how consciousness plays in the process. Mm-hmm. See that the light, does the light have a process? The light just is. It doesn't have a process because it's everything. It's totality, infinite light, process-free zone, peace zone. See that peace has no process for peace. It just is. See that happiness, no process. It just is what is. So he's showing us the contrast a process in my mind which starts with so he's bringing us right to the mad idea initiation. We're turning on the rocket engines to pretend we're separate at desire, at the level of desire. Jesus, do the engines, is that where all the energetic engine is? Is it in desire and wish? So he's teaching us the process through which we have an experience of feeling separate. You can ask him, is this wish the initiation of the dreaming? And then we pretend that we're not powerful enough, that it spins out and we're not powerful enough. So that's part of the pretend of the desire. Is there a desire below my level of awareness to pretend like that desire is real? That desire actually does something. Yet we can see in the light of divine being, no matter how much wishing, is the light still here? So the light's here, yet there's a desire for a dream to not see that the light is here. Is that the wish, Jesus, to not see that light's already here and always here and can't be anything else other than here? So am I always fighting the light? And is that abjectly impossible to fight the light? So who am I fighting? Asked Jesus, who am I fighting? Is there another out there to fight? So he's slowing everything down so we can go back and see the generation of the tiny mad idea of other and how it's being generated on the fly, like to deny light that's here, timelessness, the little dream idea to deny timelessness. What I see reflects a process in my mind which starts with my idea of what I want. From there, the mind makes up an image of the thing the mind desires. Okay, let's watch it in slow motion, have them show it. So is desire blowing out images? Just feel that wanting for those images. Jesus, do I desire these images of this world? Do I desire an experience of an unholy relationship with the images of this world through my desire for them? We can just admit it when he says it. When we ask him, just go, okay, can you help me with a miracle on that desire, that wish to blow out images? What do I need to see? He says that you're not that you're not a bunch of Paso images, and you're not subject to the images that you miscreate. He says, see it with me. That you're far more powerful than the images that you're miscreating, the little movies that you're writing through your subconscious desires for the experience of a movie. From there, the mind makes up an image of the thing the mind desires, judges valuable, and therefore seeks to find. So you can almost, I'm asking, and will you slow it down so we can just really observe the mechanism through which separation happens in this moment? The experience of separation seems to be real. So you can feel that wanting, blowing out of those images, and then wanting to fall asleep into the image to find something in the image you can hone in on. We were watching a movie last night called Duplicate. I think it's Duplicate. What? Identicals, right? Identicals. And I thought I hadn't seen it, but I actually had, but I couldn't remember it when I heard, okay, you're going to watch this movie. And the mind would call it dark, but all it's looking at is the looping in consciousness and how consciousness plays to hunt for death. And it has a beautiful opening scene where the main character is the symbol of love, being in love, and he's surrounded by little lights, these little candles, and all this love. And then the belief events start happening. It seems like love's taken away. The play of consciousness for wanting love, an experience where love is taken away. And it seems like his girlfriend's being taken away. But we're not seeing we're casting out the pearls. We're casting them away. Casting ourselves out of heaven through the desire not to be there, not to have this great love. And then the loss is about the picture. So we fall into the picture and make that seem like, so for him, it was the outpicturing of a woman. So then he'd go and get his slate cleaned. But Jesus was telling me during the movie, no, but the grievance is still in the mind. So we'll seem to switch scenarios. Let's go to a new scenario, a new set of pictures. That's what the ego plays. It plays a new set of pictures to avoid looking to see the unreality of it. You can ask Jesus, is that how the ego plays, to give a whole new set of pictures? So it won't really look in. So he gets a whole new set of pictures. And seemingly through the attraction, here comes that object or the girlfriend shows up again. And then here comes attack to seemingly keep him apart from love. And he keeps having these repeating experiences. There's some beautiful symbology of him coming into a new scenario, and he's in a high-rise building. It's such a perfect reflection of how consciousness plays. So he comes in and you look out of that high-rise, you know what a cityscape looks like from an upper floor. Thousands of buildings and windows and all the things that could be seen in consciousness. And yet, interestingly enough, in the dream, he's got a telescope. And when he looks through the telescope, what does he see? In the building across hundreds of yards away, in the one window where there's his girlfriend as a new character. What an image of the separation. The unreachable nature, but he's irresistibly drawn. See, he's got to go try to, even though love can't be, he doesn't learn from a single one of the episodes because his focus is on objective experience, having an objective experience with this figure. So they can't see beyond the form that all attack is of himself. There's some really pretty deep scenes where he's seeing himself in multiple forms. That the attack is of the self and trying to kill the self through all those images. But you see that not a single image changes the light. Can you find a way for a single image to change infinite light? From there, the mind makes up an image of the thing the mind desires, judges valuable, and seeks to find. So there's the image of the girlfriend. She keeps showing up in the movie. See? Unrequited love is an image. This is death. Love's already here. See that it's like we look for the image and it kicks in the seeking mechanism. That's the tiny mad idea that something can be sought in form when the light's already here. These images are then projected outward. This is really good. Just he's slowing it down. He's showing us how the seeking's being generated. The wanting, want that other, blows out images and then falls into the trying to get the image to feel whole. Some images and then rejecting other images. See that play. Feel how sickening that is. That really is that play of keeping some images and pulling them back. The fatigue of it. The exhaustion. I'm asking, sometimes you just feel this deep exhaustion. That's just recognizing what the play is doing. It's exhausting. It's not natural. You're starting to see the unnatural nature. See, but the ego would avoid the looking at that and go, I need a nap. No, you need to look to see where the miracle's denied. That's the whole game, is just to fall asleep. It changes one different form of sleep for another. Ask Jesus, is the falling asleep at night any different from the falling asleep in the day? Are those both plays within consciousness to avoid looking to see what's true? So all the dreaming is the same. You can ask him, I'll tell you, is the dreaming in the day any different? We talked about that from the night. Is the dreaming any different when I'm seemingly sleeping a deep sleep? It's all a dream. It's all a play within consciousness. Not for infinite being not to know itself as infinite, to become unaware of itself. Is this a play to become unaware of myself as I am? These images are then projected outward, looked upon, esteemed as real. Jesus, do I have a desire to esteem the world as real? You can feel that, okay? Can ask for a miracle for esteeming the world. He says, look deeply with me at that, esteeming the world as real. He says, that's a great topic for a joining session. Esteeming, just feel the energy of the wanting the world to be real and just stay. He says, stay with that. Okay, stay with that. Wanting, is there any wanting? Esteeming the world to be real below my level of awareness. Just look directly. Wanting the images. He says, this is your way out. The admission of how much those images are wanted. These images are then projected outward, looked upon, esteemed as real, and guarded as one's own. Jesus, am I guarding these as my own? Okay, like they belong. That's what's being protected, the images, the self-image. From insane wishes comes an insane world. So Jesus, is this generating the insanity of the world? In my mind, in the mind, the one mind. Is this hidden in the play of diversity? The desire to experience diversity. And to see how The wanting of the play of diversity is an attempt to hide from what's already here. From insane wishes comes an insane world. From judgment comes a world condemned. So let's look at the desire. Jesus, is there a desire below my level of awareness for judgment? To judge yourself guilty? He said, yes. Just see that with me. Okay. Will you show me the desire to judge myself guilty for this play of images? Do I want to feel guilty for the play of images in my mind? So is all judgment just simple a self-judgment for the images playing in the mind? You can ask Jesus that. Yes. The guilt for the images playing. And we ask for a miracle. He's saying, no, keep looking. Keep looking to see that divine light, infinite love is untouched by images, and so are you. Can we ask for a miracle? He says, keep looking at the desire for those images to define who you are. Jesus, is there a desire below my level of awareness for these images to define me and find myself guilty? Is there a desire to find myself guilty over images in the mind? Can I give that desire to you? He says, do not keep this guilt. He said, Jesus is a valuable miracle. Yes. To see that you can't even keep these images even if you want them. That's the play of consciousness, to try to keep what you can't have and then be mad at God because he can't grant you a wish to make all images real. From insane wishes comes an insane world. So Jesus, it's my desire for insane wishes that comes an insane world. From then judging it, see, wanting it and then judging it, so I won't look to see it's not even judgeable. That the higher court of God has already ruled it innocent. And from forgiving thoughts, a gentle world comes forth with mercy for the Holy Son of God to offer him a kindly home where he can rest a while before he journeys on and help his brothers walk ahead with him and find the way to heaven and to God. Jesus, is our only function is to find our way to God together. He says you can only find it together. You can ask him, Jesus is the only way to find heaven together. We go together, you and I. He says, keep looking with me and keep looking with your brother. So you can see, it's just an opportunity to see that your brother is yourself, the one. To see that the only thing is to see past those images for which you will feel guilty unless you look directly, for the generation of a world, unless you look really directly, and your brother is the means given you to see that there is only one mind, there's only one. Our Father, your ideas reflect the truth, and mine apart from yours but make up dreams. Let me behold what only yours reflect, your ideas. Jesus, will you show me how to behold only the thoughts of God? He says that's the only thing that's real. For yours and yours alone established truth. Jesus, am I willing to see that only yours, only God's, our Father's ideas reflect the truth? Am I willing to see that? Let it be so. Amen. Love from San Juan Coastal Mighties. See you on the joinings.